There are a few must-have referral strategies that I want you to have in place this year. So let's break them down.
You are not just another hustling salesperson. You are the expert, the resource, the valuable partner for your clients. And how you grow your business should reflect how your clients see you. Welcome to the Roadmap to Grow Your Business podcast. We generate referrals without asking, build positive client experiences, and help you take control of your business. Here's your charmingly sarcastic host, Stacey Brown Randall.
Hey there, and welcome to episode 187 of the Roadmap to Grow Your Business podcast. I'm your host, Stacey Brown Randall. All right, we started last week with our first episode of this brand new year. We started with a little referral results shout out. So I am going to do that once again. This referral results shout out belongs to Michelle. She is a property and casualty insurance agency owner, and she hit the big triple digit last year with her referrals received. She hit 105 referrals received last year. So exciting for her. I know that was a big goal for her to hit, was to finally get into the triple digit number of referrals received. And she did it with 105 throughout 2021. So congrats, Michelle. And again, guys, these shout outs are just to let you know, to remind you, to give you that moment of, wait, if they can do it, I can do it. Because you're right. If they can do it, you can do it. You've just got to be willing to do the work. Okay, in this episode, we are talking about the must-have referral strategies. These are the strategies when I talk about these referral shout-outs like Michelle or Steve last week or anybody you've ever read or heard me talk about from their referral results. These are the strategies they have in place. And there are three big ones that I'm going to talk about in today's episode. But let me just kind of give you an overview because there are way more than three. I mean, at the end of the day, there are definitely more than three. There are three big ones, but there's definitely more. Right? So if you're thinking about our three big kind of must-have referral strategies, that's getting referrals from your client experience. That's also, number two, getting referrals from your existing referral sources. And number three, it's getting referrals from potential referral sources, those that you want to be referring you. But there are these additional ones as well. And I was thinking through something I had created last year for the members of my Growth by Referrals program. And that Growth by Referrals program is the program where I teach you how to get referrals from your existing referral sources. And I was thinking through something that I had created for them in terms of like, once you go through the GBR, the Growth by Referrals program, there's all these strategies or like mini strategies along with the big strategy and skills that you'll know how to do. It was actually like an assessment. It was like, hey, when you finish the Growth by Referrals online version of the program, here's all the things you need to be able to do. And there were like 24 things that you will either have done, know how to do and be doing, or of course, will have things that you know when the right moment is to use those smaller strategies. And that's just from one strategy, right? That's just from really getting referrals from your existing referral sources. So it's things like having a 1-year referral plan, right, customized to take care of your existing referral sources. It's having the language, right, whether you create it or you borrow from all the scripts that we give you for those touch points that you're going to do within that referral plan that's customized to care for your existing referral sources. It's like how to know how to write a variety of thank you notes, particularly if you're writing thank you notes to the same person over and over again, because they keep referring you, which is what we ultimately want, right? But little things like how to categorize your referral sources by types and levels if you need that. Or what do you say in a one-on-one conversation with an existing referral source to plant a referral seed? Or what language do you use in an event invitation for a referral source? So my point isn't to overwhelm you here. My point is to kind of give you the idea that, you know, when I was sitting down and I was building out this assessment last year, and I was thinking through all the things people know how to do or are executing on or know when to use something. There were like these three big ones that I just went through, but then there was like all these additional ones as well. And so those are like, hey, do you know how to follow up with a referral source after they give you a referral? Do you know how to flip word of mouth buzz, introduction, or a warm lead into a referral? Do you know how to follow up with referred leads that you actually received last year that haven't taken any action to move forward with you? Do you know what to say during the buyer's journey with a prospect? Do you know how to use testimonials to get referrals? Do you know what to say when you're networking to plant engagement seeds? Do you know what to say to your referral source to change the quality of referrals you're receiving? Do you know how to plant referral seeds even within your social media? Right? And what about the process and the language to close those prospects that are referred to you? So while this episode is going to focus on these 3 larger must-have referral strategies, those are all the additional ones. And actually some I just didn't read off because the point here isn't to overwhelm you, to make you think, oh my gosh, there's all these things, right? But all these things work to generate referrals for you. And most of these are just tools in your toolbox that you pull out in a situation. They're situational referral strategies in the moment, right? You would never pull out how to, what to say to plan an engagement referral seed when you're networking, right? When maybe you are dealing with a existing referral source. So it's not like you're pulling out a situational tactic all the time. It's like you know when to pull it out and when to use it, and you don't use it times when it's not appropriate. So when I started thinking through, oh my gosh, all the things that I teach and all the things that people are then able to do, there's a lot. There's a lot of referral strategies that they ultimately need to understand. And there's these big ones, 3 big ones, and then there's additional ones. And then on top of all of that, there's how do you involve your team to carry out this work or the processes, or to use the right language in moments when they're interacting with your clients or your prospects, right? So I get it. There's a lot. But when you start to apply these strategies, some big, some small, you see the connection and the ease of using them and how simple and easy they really are. I mean, the truth is some of these you do once and some you do in an ongoing way. But that's the thing. They're all easy. Once you know what to do and what to say or how to do it, whatever, depending on what the strategy is, that's when they get easy. So whereas on this episode, I am going to dig into the 3 big ones that I think you need to be conscious about putting into practice, putting into place this year to have an amazing referral year for 2022. That's not all. And I think that's my point of listing out a bunch of the other strategies, is that's not all. And it was also a real reason behind me looking at developing the newest thing that we have, which is building a referable business. It was where do I go in one place to teach all of it, but not all of it at once? Because if you try to do all of it at once, you're going to be super overwhelmed. But how do I teach all of it? Make everything I teach accessible to the people who are in this building a referable business where they can get what they need when they need it. And that's one of the reasons why in building a referable business, we actually build these things called 90-day sprints. So I want to use that same process to apply it to this episode as well. And so if you've never heard of a 90-day sprint, a 90-day sprint is where you break down what you're going to do in just a 90-day period. You don't worry about 12 months. You don't worry about 9 months or 6 months. You're just looking at the next 90 days. And in building a referable business in BRB, we take those 90-day sprints and we break them down into 3 30-day increments. So it's what are you going to do based on where you are and the gaps you want to solve, right, and getting you fast results. What do you want to do with your first 30 days? So within building a referable business, that's how we look at it. We're okay, we want to go for some low-hanging fruit. We want to get some things in place that need to be in place so you have the right foundation. We want to get you to make some fast results as well. So what do you need to do in your first 30 days based on where you are right now? And then we look at, okay, when that's done, where do you go for your next 30 days? And then when that's done, where do you go for your next 30 days? And so that's 3 30-day increments within a 90-day sprint. Now, somebody who is in building a referable business for an entire year is going to have 4 of those, right? They're going to have 4 90-day sprints, but they're not looking ahead at what's happening in their third 90-day sprint. They're only looking ahead at what's happening in the next 90 days. And really, then they're looking at what do I do in the next 30 days? And when I'm done with that, then I can move on to the next 30 days. And so that's a really good way for you to think about eating the elephant one bite at a time, right? That kind of concept of how do I break this stuff down so that I actually will do it and make progress and won't get overwhelmed at the thought of all the things I need to be doing. And so as we're looking at this from that perspective, I want to apply that same approach to this episode, specific as I give you kind of like the 3 big referral strategies you need to have in place this year if you want to get consistent, ongoing referrals and you want to increase the volume of referrals that you are receiving. And if you want better quality referrals and you want to be closing more of those referrals into actual paying clients. So looking at this from a 90-day sprint, let me first give you the 3 big must-haves. Now, I mentioned them at the very beginning, but now let me dig into what I'm talking about with each of those 3, and then how I would map this out for somebody so that you can think about how you would apply this to your world right now. Thinking about you're in a 90-day sprint, okay? So, of course, must-have referral strategy number 1 is you must be working a strategy to get referrals from your client experience. Now, we did a huge series last year in the podcast, episode 151 through 165. I'll link to the start of that series in the show notes page. But we did a big series last year all about the client experience. And the client experience is whatever your clients go through and the emotions that they feel or that are evoked through working with you. You have a client experience whether you're intentional about it or not. So like there is an experience your clients are experiencing right now doing business with you. But what people don't pay attention to is that there's also opportunities within that client experience to be generating referrals. So it starts, of course, with being referable, right? Like you gotta give me reasons to talk about you and to want to put my reputation on the line and to refer you, which means average good work is not gonna cut it, right? Like you've got to be referable. And there's specific things that we talk about that are making you more referable, right? Sometimes it's your ability to have like the work process like streamlined and working, and you and your team know what's happening and you're executing on the deliverables you've promised to execute on. But that's the work side of your client experience. There's the relationship side of your client experience where you have things kind of teased throughout each of your 3 stages within your client experience where you're really kind of connecting on that relationship level. And when I say connecting on that relationship level, I mean like not like you're taking these people to grab beer every week or every month because nobody really has time for that, but things that let them know that you appreciate them being a client and that they are way more than just a number. That's super important, okay? So you've got this idea of referrals from your client experience, and it starts with a client experience that actually makes you referable. There's like a wow factor to it, right? There's like this piece about you being referable. And then there are strategies I wouldn't even call it strategies. I would call it tactics. Then there are tactics within your client experience where you are planting specific seeds to be able to generate referrals. And there are specific moments within your client experience where you have a tactic that is deployed for every single client who hits that moment in your client experience where there is a referral seed planted. And they're done in a very specific way, because, of course, this is the client experience. And so that is one strategy I want you thinking about, executing on, deploying, getting in place in 2022. Because to get referrals at foundational point, you got to be referable. Like you have to be worth me referring you. So you got to go above average, right? In addition to that, though, there's probably referrals hiding in your client experience, and you just don't know those moments where you need to be pulling them out. And sometimes it's you being aware of those moments because they don't happen with every single client. And in some cases, this is a tactic we deploy at this point in our client experience for all of our clients just to plant the seed to see what will happen. So there's both of those kind of tactics within your client experience. Okay, the second must-have referral strategy is the referrals from existing referral sources. So these are people, of course, that have referred you in the past and you want them to keep referring you and you want to get more referrals from them, right? So it starts, of course, with identifying who those people are, then building out your referral plan of touch points to take care of them, using the right referral seed language, knowing how to re-engage your inactive referral sources. We talked a little bit about that in the last episode 186, when we were defining or calculating your referral explosion goal for the year. But the idea here is that you know how to re-engage your inactives, right? And what you do with those that didn't refer you last year, and then really just creating a plan where you're going to take care of your referral sources, what we call touch points. Now, there are lots and lots of episodes in this podcast where we talk about this. We talk about taking care of your existing referral sources. We talk about how to identify them, right? We talk about taking care of them. We talk about what that looks like. But it's a strategy that you build and then you're deploying it in the background. And in some cases, you've got an assistant or a team member or a person in charge of sales or a person in charge of marketing, whoever it is on your team. Maybe it is actually an operations manager. It's a virtual assistant, an executive assistant that's helping you keep that plan going, because that plan runs for 12 months, but you're only doing something 5, 6, 7, or 8 times throughout the year to really take care of your existing referral sources. But you got to build it and then you got to execute on it. And then the third must-have referral strategy I need you to have in place this year is the one where you're going to be getting referrals from your potential referral sources. So you need to know how to identify the right people that have the opportunity to refer you, and then cultivate a relationship with them as you're moving them along to get them to give you that first referral. And then you got to know how to follow up, right? To keep planting the referral seeds that are the right ones to plant, because there's specific ones when someone's never referred you, and you've got to know how to try to impact them and focus on them and help them. So there's a strategy there of how you take someone who's never referred you and get them to start referring you. And these 3 main strategies, referrals from your client experience, referrals from your existing referral sources, and referrals from your potential referral sources, these are like the 3 main must-have strategies. All the other things that I read out at the beginning of the episode are additional strategies. They're just smaller, and sometimes they're just tactics or tools, or they're situational moments where you need to pull it out and know how to use it. But when you know all of the things, that is when you are truly building a business that can crush it when it comes to referrals. Now, some people crush it from referrals by instituting just one of the strategies. They just let me just take care of my existing referral sources and I will get more referrals. And then they do. And some people, it's like, hey, I'm going to put in place my existing referral source strategy and my potential referral source strategy and crush it. And then they do. But those are the 3 big ones: your client experience, your existing referral sources, and your potential referral sources. And for years and years and years, we have been teaching those strategies to people inside our programs that are specifically based on those 3 strategies. Growth by referrals is for existing referral sources. How to turn clients and contacts into referring machines is for our potential referral sources, and sticky client experience is for the client experience. Those are the 3 big ones. But let's talk about this from a 90-day sprint. It would be unlikely that in a 90-day sprint, you would be able to complete all 3 of those, but you could do 2. So in a 90-day sprint, if we're looking at your first 30 days, where I would tell you to start is with your existing referral sources. Let's identify if you have any. Let's create a plan to take care of them. Let's start executing on that plan and run it throughout the year to be able to generate more referrals from the people who are already referring you. You're just going to take better care of them. So that would be my first 30 days. So I'm thinking about this, if you were a member of Building a Referable Business and we had your onboarding call and we were working through your gaps and what we want to close and what you need to put in place to truly be a referable business and get all the referrals you deserve, that would probably be the number 1 place I would tell you to start. I would say, okay, we're going to do growth by referrals, and you are going to figure out how to take care of the way that I teach you, right? You're going to learn how to take care of your existing referral sources. And I would give you 30 days to get through the material, to get your plan built, to get it approved by me, to get it, we call it blessing, get it blessed by Stacy, to put it in practice and to have all the things in place. And we would do that in your first 30 days. And then you would also send out your very first touch point, and then you'd be off to the races. And that I would give you 30 days. And then for your next 30 days, I would actually say pick one or the other, client experience or potential referral sources. And then I would tell you to build that in the next 30 days. So that would be the 60-day mark, right? But in the next 30 days, the second 30 days of your 90-day sprint, you would focus on either client experience or potential referral sources, going through that training, implementing that, and then let it run for your third 30 days so you're not overwhelmed. And when we started your second 90-day sprint, then we could look at the next strategy. So you'd never deploy all 3 of these strategies back to back to back in a 90-day sprint, but you could absolutely do 2. Imagine how much progress you would make if in the next 60 days you had 2 strategies in place and you were working it and running it and you were getting ready to start your second 90-day sprint, bringing in the third major strategy. On top of the fact, you would also learn a whole bunch of other smaller, more minor, situational-based referral strategies as well. So that's how I want you to think about this. If you're in building a referable business, that's what we're doing, right? If you want to join, just go to stacybrownrandall.com/referable. But for those of you who aren't there, that's not the time and place for you to join something. This is what I want you to know, that you can do this. You just got to put the practice in. You just got to sit down and figure out, okay, let's first start identifying our existing referral sources. My first 30 days, let's get off to the races from there. You are totally capable of doing this. I have full faith in your ability, because while some of these are a little bit harder to kind of conceptualize, some of them aren't. And I know you can do it, and I know you can get started. So I would love for you to share, if you're building out your own 90-day sprint, where are you going to start with your first set of 30 days? Tell me in our Facebook group, Referrals Without Asking, what are you going to do to start your 90-day sprint, your first 30 days? What does that look like for you? Tell me in our Facebook group. Look for the post that is for episode 187, because that is our episode 187. Just look for the post or start your own post inside our Referrals Without Asking Facebook group. And of course, the show notes for this episode, stacybrownrandall.com/187. That's 187 for the episode. And you know, Stacy has an E. You know, it's got me thinking with these must-have referral strategies, we may need to build a 5-day challenge around what it looks like to implement pieces of these must-have referral strategies. I may even start percolating on that, and that may show up later on. All right, so coming up next week is episode 188. And we're going to be answering a very, very important question about referrals and you. So until then, take control and grow your business. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to the Roadmap to Grow Your Business podcast. To access all resources and links mentioned in today's show and to connect with Stacy, head over to www.stacybrownrandall.com.